Hi everyone, welcome to the Weekly Market Update. So today there's a couple of things to share, actually quite a lot. So I'm going to cover not just the US, also share a bit on Singapore, as a couple of news has been going on since last week for the Singapore side as well. So next thing, what we have been looking, there will be three things I'm going to recommend later on at the end of the video as well, as usual, because I found some opportunity. Of course, it's not on shares, which two of them is actually on the commodity side. So let's take a look. So what happened last week, as we know that there is a good earning report from the big technology, as you can see from the earning calendar from last week. Basically, the top four like Facebook, Apple, Amazon, all is beating way higher, earning way better than even after the COVID, before the COVID, right? So this is why actually the index actually pull up. Mainly is being saved by the Nasdaq itself. But as we know that coming week, we are actually the half of the earnings report right now at the coming week, right? At the second half of the earnings report, without all these big tech technologies going to support the earnings report, will the market be safe or not? Because right now, market is being pushed higher by the Nasdaq, it's being saved by the technology side. But without that, what will we be looking at? And things to watch out is because like I say on the 31st is actually the end of the support from the government itself. So right now, those unemployed people in US no longer have the $600 bucks. So what will they be? How will it affect the market? So they actually forecast whether the Fed will actually continue this stimulus or not. So we will never know. So that is the coming week that we are looking for. Beside that, this coming week, right, there's a lot of things that we need to watch out. If you are Oil is one of the things I'm going to share. Like I say, there will be commodity. So crude oil inventory is one of the key criteria I'm monitoring, whether to short on the positions or not. And things to take note is like it's non-farm payroll and unemployment rate lah. So last week actually Fed remains the interest rate is not going to cut. So this coming week, things to take note is actually a fresh stimulus. Second half of the Q2 earnings, and then of the big economy data as well lah. I mean the economy calendar. So coming week. Yeah, for last week earning report, things to watch out. A lot of people actually focus on the technology side, but one thing that it actually does show on the Friday, there's a lot of oil-related sector company actually have earnings report, and their earnings is not relatively good as well. So like ExxonMobil, Chevron is all below the expectations lah. So this actually causes the related company to fall drop as well. So coming week, big news is actually oil industry. As you know, COVID is continue rising, demand is going to rotten, but supply is going to increase. So by looking at the WTI chart, we will see that there's a support and resistance right now. We will look at the chart later. So things to watch out as well. Coming last week before the end of I mean, starting of the new week, right? Microsoft, if you're holding Microsoft, do take note. Microsoft actually has a lot of speculation. They are buying over this TikTok. TikTok is actually one of the current, popular apps for young teenager. So Microsoft actually want to buy over right now, but actually Trump stopped from these acquisitions because due to the threat. So a lot of things is going on. If let's say you're holding Microsoft, if these fall apart, I think Microsoft is somehow going to be affected, but it's just a short-term noise. If your investment is totally okay, but you're trading, do monitor on your positions. All right. So because there's a lot of things I'm going to share, so I will, fasten a bit lah. So as I hopefully can cover within 15 or 20 minutes, do not wish to drag too long. And this coming week, what are we looking at on the earnings calendar? Let's take a look. It's not as as wuha as last week. So however, things to monitor is like Walt Disney. But what I want to bring to your attention is this thing called Royal Caribbean. There's one is called Royal Caribbean, if I'm not wrong. All right, Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. Because as you know, what is being badly affected is not just airline. Cruise is one of them. Correct or not? So Royal Caribbean give you a show that what will happen to their earning report, and it might actually, if you're holding Carnival, the cruise line as well, it might give you a heads up. It might be some spillover from there. So Royal Caribbean earnings report, if you're holding any cruise, take note on that as well. So this is how I look at the market. Then next thing, what are we be sharing? So that is all on the earnings report. I'm not having any big shares or anything on earning. Of course, there is a couple of them, but if let's say there are things you are, you know, into the particular share, like modern, this one, Moderna. This is actually one of the currently being so-called a hot topic of COVID vaccine. Most likely is being created by them. So there's a lot of news over here, but I'm not into the shares. I don't think it's a good time to look at it because when people try to run a lot of news on that particular shares, right, is I always stay slightly a bit further lah. So you know, it's very volatile if let's say you want to place your share, but I'm not. I try to look for other opportunity. All right. So and as we know, what happened to GSK? All right. So for GSK, this is what I predicted last week. I say that we actually can look at it to wait for a bounce back and then to short. I even share in my Facebook page. If you have like in my Facebook page, you can see from here. Okay, I say wait for a rebound and then you short. So indeed, it really happened. And if you short, you will be in profit right now. But thing to watch out because my target is actually below. All right, it's around 38. All right, but the thing is that because GSK, there's a big news from coming out from Trump saying that they will actually provide 2.1 billion from this GSK and another company uh, on this COVID vaccines. So with this huge deal, right, I might worried that it will actually bring a positive side for GSK. If you are purely on technical, if let's say you have shorted, then it's okay, just put your type stop loss and continue to hold and ride until 38. Because if today you are a company, you think that this is good news, you want to buy the shares, definitely for fund house, they need to pull the price downward for them to accumulate at a cheaper price, right? They don't want to accumulate here because all the retailer will buy in it right now. It is a good support too long. But I will continue to hold right now because I entered at a good price. I will continue to hold. But things to shares is actually manage your own risk. If let's say my all my charting I have 1 to 3 star rating, I will rate this as 2. All right, because I entered at a good price. Uh, and why I never give a good rating for here to short is because of this big news lah. So that's why if you miss the boat by then do not touch on it. If you have entered the short, maintain your type stop loss and continue write it down. Okay, then so next thing that I'm going to share is actually like I say, I will move directly. All right, I'm not going to share any index chart because as you can see, index chart all break all-time high lah. You want to chase also a bit scary because everything is due to COVID. For GSK, why I say do not chase is because this is healthcare, this is drugs. It's very volatile to drugs news of this vaccine. Once the vaccine come out, if let's say the project under GSK, if GSK is success, this will just gap up. Your management, you can't manage well. All right. So for WTI, US, I'm looking at short. So usually this setup is for people who are working. You can just put your limit order. You can actually short at the market when it open. Stop loss, I'm looking at 44 around there, 44.4, and take profit. I'm looking at around this price will be around 32.46 around here. So as you can see just now I said it's support and resistance. Can you see here? Support, 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 support. Right now it started touched the support and it didn't penetrate up. Alright, so it actually fall first below the 20-day moving average. So I looking at somewhere to short. But if this one-way trend in short term, if let's say it continue right up, you have to cut. You have to cut. Stop loss is a must. Otherwise you can short it and continue right. Alright, so this is what I'm looking at right now to short WTI. Next thing, I'm looking to long back Palladium. As you know, I've shared in Palladium as well in my Facebook page. I shared quite weeks ago. I said to long Palladium and it touches. All right, it went higher. Right now, those people who actually miss this put, right, it actually fall. You actually drop back, pull back for you to enter. All right, so I know it's a lot of encovering, but this is not just encovering. I think it's an opportunity for me to ride this boat again. So I'm looking to enter at the market open. I'm putting my stop loss at 1,980 and my take profit is 228. Of course, if it's strong, I will continue to push back, pull up my stop loss and continue to ride it up. But it's a swing trade. All right, so I don't think in 1 week you will straight away hit here, but if let's say it's just like straight one big bar, then congrats to everyone. If let's say it continue right, then we will review this trade once again. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to look at the US side is actually this counter. It's called IMO. IMO is actually one of the oil counter, as we know that oil is going to drop. So I think this might be some spillover. Earnings report just announced. I think they missed their revenue, if I mean the estimations lah. So one of them hit, one of them didn't hit. If you want, you can find out more, but I'm looking at the short. The mid is not that good. It's just 1.5. I mean, it's pretty good as long as it's not 1 to 1, right? It's more than 1 to 1, so we can actually look at it. So I'm actually short at open. If there's no gap, I'm down. I'm target around 13.38. Stop loss is around 17, one whole figure. So if you are keen, you can actually follow this call as well. Okay, so that's all for my US side. Because there's really a lot in Singapore. So that's all for my US I'm monitoring. Oh, one last thing. If you have not been entering, have not been monitoring, I have keep repeating on Dropbox. All right, it's a final finale is coming soon. On the finale is on the, let me see, on the 6th of August, Thursday. Why? Because it's a Dropbox earning. All right, like I say, when it dropped down to 100 moving average, it's good to accumulate. This is week chart. You can see the week chart, right? So you can see on the day chart itself, can you see it's actually gap down 100 moving average. If you accumulate, I bought in some here. So if let's say it's riding, so if let's say the earnings report is coming, it's going to shoot through the roof. You want to enter now? Yes, your risk is slightly higher. It's got to be here. All right, here is slightly higher, but I'm aiming target is $28. All right, that's my target, $28. So let's take a look at weekly chart. And if you really want to enter now, or you can wait some pullback if let's say index going to drop this coming week. I mean, if you, let's say the first 2 day or 3 days drop, it's good for you to accumulate. So hopefully you can drop to 22 for you to accumulate it. Oh, so sorry, I used the wrong tool. Hold on, let me delete. I'm looking to long the positions. If it does really come to 22, if you can try to accumulate sums. All right, my target is here. Your stop loss should be here. So this is what we are looking at. Okay, 2.53. Of course, somewhere in the middle, if you don't, you're worried, you want to take some profit, it's up to you. You want to come here, it's up to you. It's still 1.7. It's a very good call over here. All right, so this is Dropbox. I'm not because I'm in the position. I actually recommend this few weeks ago in my Facebook page as well, if you have been following from there. All right, so that's all for my US side. I'm going to Singapore side. Let's see what we will be looking at in Singapore today. Okay, so let's continue on the Singtel. This is Straits Time Index. All right. So what is going to happen, or what is happening in Singapore? STI is, as we know that there is a lot of news. First of all, the news is actually on the MAS side, on the Singapore Bank. As we know that MAS regulate banks to cut their dividends, so not to pay out the dividends to the shareholder. So that is actually one of the big news that caused the STI to plunge on Friday night. As you can see, it's high volume, it's totally coming down. So what will actually cause it? As you know, the STI, the main component index is actually Singtel, the three major bank. So if let's say it cut the dividends, right, people who actually, or analysts who actually use the pricing model of this called DDM, dividend discount model, right? It will definitely affect the intrinsic value of how they do the pricing, how they calculate on the bank, so-called the fair value of the price. So this actually causes the drop down. So if let's say you look at any of the bank chart, you can see there's a huge drop lah over the last Friday closing. So rating for the bank is right now on hold. And if you have been reading news, right, actually OCBC, one of the so-called the analysts say that they will expect to, there will be more downside from 2020 to 2021. But of course, you won't see one day drop. Like, must understand is the impact overall. And we can see that right now there's a lot of rating from the bank, or there's a report coming say that the loan is actually getting lesser. The company's business is not there, so for what they take loan, correct or not? And this is actually affects the bank's earnings as well. So for STI, right, what are we looking at right now? If let's say you are into STI, this right now is at 2,520 on last Friday closing. If I'm going to look at it, my first support I'm looking is actually on the 2004. 2004 is my first support I'm looking at right now. The line is a bit okay. 2004 is my first support right now. Let me see, can I make the width bigger? Okay, so 2004 is my first support right now. So if this support does not able to hold on, if it continue to drop, and you can see right now, okay, 2004 is my first support. If it never support here, and it continue to go down, right, I think 2002. All right, 2002. Why I say that? It's very obvious. Why? Let's use Fibonacci. Let's use Fibonacci. We can take a look from here. This is the all-way high. This is the all-way low. All right. So this is the all-way high. This is the all-way low. Oops. All right. Okay. All-way high, all-way low. This is when 2008, GFC, global financial crisis, right? So right now, 2004 is my first 38 38.2% lah FIBO, okay, the golden level. So I'm waiting for here to come to 2004. If it doesn't hold, the next level is 2002. I don't straight away go to here first. All right. So this is how I use FIBO. So I don't straight away go here. I go for round figure because it actually touches the recently low 2002. All right. So this I'm looking at 2004 doesn't hold. You go to 2002. All right. So if for people who are doing long-term investment, people who are doing those kind of, like those kind of regular investment plan, or those kind of stash away, this kind of apps, right? Slowly you want to accumulate. You wait for it to come down. 2004 is good for you to limit a bit. 2002 limit a bit. 2000 limit a bit. Of course, cash is king. I'm not going to ask you to plunge everything in. All right, slowly dollar averaging. Trust me, STI, yes, I might not have crystal ball. If you go to form 1000, this is very bad to Singapore company. I mean Singapore economy. All right, so I was slowly nimble, bit by bit. If you think 2004 is too high, we until 2000, 2002. Long-term investment is long-term. This is not for trading purposes. I just share my view. This is my own personal view. All right. Okay. Next thing to look at is actually Singtel. Singtel. What happened to Singtel? Singtel. As you know, there's one news actually um, affects Singtel is the earnings report. You can see from here. This is investing note lah. I like it because it like chunk everything together. I think there's one news talking about Singtel. They are losing money of this over here. Okay, book another 911 million charges on this Airtel stake. So, however, what is supporting Singtel is due to the dividend. So, a lot of investor, long-term investor, those are paid uncle, old investor, right, are still holding Singtel is because they like the dividend of Singtel. So, their ex date for Singtel is 4th of August this coming week. So, if after Singtel XD, people think that technology, telco for Singtel is no longer there, it will be a great impact by this COVID, right? I think this will continue to drop lah. So the chart wise, I think $2.40 is the first immediate support. If it fail, then I'm looking at $2.30. So every 1 cent down, 10 cent down lah. All right. So, but after all, as you know, Singtel is there's a lot of competitors out there lah. My Republic, uh, there's Circle Life, there's so many. So why Singtel? Of course, this is Lao Zihao, a lot of people like it due to the names of it. But if it's going to drop, it's going to drop somehow. All right. So this is what I'm looking at on Singtel. Lastly, I'm going to share is this thing is Keppel Corp. As you know, so what happened to Keppel Corp? Keppel Corp actually has their earnings report last week as well. So uh, it's pretty bad for Keppel Corp. It's pretty weak result. You can find out the news itself. But things to watch out is because, right, on the first half of Keppel Corp's earning is actually failed. It failed to fulfill the partial offer by Temasek. We know that you can look at the chart. All right, look at the chart itself. You can see that on October itself, it actually kept up because Temasek came in on that day, said that they might want to buy in, buy partial buy in, partial offer, but with a preconditions. So what is the condition is that the first half must the profit after tax cannot fall more than 20%, but they did. All right, and they cut the dividends to 3 cents. So with DDM pricing model, with this, might not fail to acquisitions, right? Actually, the price dropped way below. It's like 20% below the acquisition uh, price that they offer at $7.35. This is what the market offer at the point of time. So right now, I think that Keppel Corp, without this white knight coming in, it will continue go down. $5 is the first immediate support I'm looking at right now. If let's say oil is going to go down, Keppel Corp is somehow related, this will be affected as well. So if you're holding these three counter, do take note. Of course, you can see that why am I so bearish right now? Everything is dropping. Of course, with COVID is a past incident, but it's right now still concurrent running. All depend on the vaccine right now. Vaccine come in to play, everything will just all the market will reshuffle again. But right now, things kick in, earning report kick in. All right, so what will happen to here without White Knight? If Keppel Corp is going to show some good news, then it will definitely go up. But with charting with FA, I think $5 is the first immediate support I'm looking at right now. All right, so that's all for this week. I have shared. I will upload some of the chart in my Facebook page. If you like, you can follow from there. All right, that's all. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye bye.